Alright, I'm gonna make this easy for you and easy for me. This vlog is just gonna cover the series of events that have led up till now, starting from April 2019. April 2019, I moved out of my apartment and I quit my job. I took what money I had and I went to the Appalachian Trail with my cat. Not this one. That one. You can't see him. That one. I was leaving for an undefined period of time. I wasn't planning on coming back. I was planning on living on the Appalachian Trail, sleeping there, and then occasionally leaving to fill up on supplies like food and stuff. So I could go back for like another week. Like once a week, go to town to fill up on food and live in the woods for however long I felt like it. With my cat, and we were doing that. We were out there. It was awesome. It's so free. And it only took about a week. When you're alone in the woods with no dopamine outlets, no people to talk to, my phone was dead. No phone, no people, no like sugar, nothing. Videos, nothing. No music. You process your emotions pretty freaking fast. A week was a long time. There were like a few days of hell facing demons. But anyway, I came out on the other end of it in a week. Like I asked myself what I want. And what I want is this. I mean, when I was on the Appalachian Trail, I looked around and I was like, I want this. I want to be here with my cat, but I don't want to be alone. And on the Appalachian Trail, you have to keep moving. I wanted to camp and stay put. And build a garden and build a hut to sleep in. And like have like friends and family visit me. So I made a vow. I wrote it down. I promised, and I promised to pursue music, a career in music. And play music until I've raised enough money to buy my own land. Well, that didn't work. But anyway, that was the plan. So I left the Appalachian Trail with my kitty. I moved back into the apartment, which got sold by the landlord, and we had to leave. So then I bought a van to sleep in, and I put a cat door in it and a litter box in it so the cat could like come in and out of the van as he pleased. I went and parked on somebody's property. So it was just like basically camping in a van, but like even though I wasn't pursuing music to pay for my land, like I promised myself I would, I was doing landscaping and odd jobs. And I started a hashtag no days off campaign where I was just working 7 days a week and saving every penny I could for the land, because I was still keeping my vow as far as not resting until I get my own property, but I just wasn't doing it with music. It's hard, you know, when you're trying to like pay your bills and feed yourself. Like it's hard to just like, especially when you're not like an experienced musician. So it just never happened. I mean, I guess it could have happened if I manifested it. It was too like landscaping and was too easy, and odd jobs. It was too easy to just make money that way. So I was doing that, and I was doing that every day until one day, like my grandmom and my grandpop on my other side, like I had two grandparents saying like, hey, you got this degree in finance, and I was excited for you to do it and make something with your life. Like, you really got to give finance a shot. And I was like, for you guys, okay. all right, I'm gonna go into finance. Like, oh yeah, I could make good money in finance. I could get my property even faster if I do hashtag no days off with finance. So this guy's over here too. I didn't mean to push him out of the way. He knows we're cool. Get over here. Get over here. We're buds. We're all happy family. Uh, so yeah, I found a fine. I was looking through finance. I was shopping for finance company. I was thinking about starting as a bank teller. Then I found a job for financial advising that was like commission based, and like your success is based off of your own efforts. Whatever. I looked into the company. It just looked really good. I got really excited for it. I went all in. I like went hard to get my licensing, my brokerage licensing and my advising licensing, so that way I can legally advise people what to do with their money and then also legally handle their money to do it for them. And it was just like a really fast, like high performance company. Like I got the licenses in like 2.5 months when other companies usually have you take 6 months. Like it was hardcore studying, like 7 days a week. But everybody else in the company was too, and like I love that company. Oh my god, the managers are awesome. The well, not my coworkers, because you're technically self-employed, like 1099. You're running your own business, but like you still have peers who are doing it, who you see on a daily basis. They're all freaking funny, ambitious, like intelligent, and very hardworking. It was just a whole building of people like that. I got along with them great, and the managers are great. Like, like they just let you be yourself. They let you be like the hardworking, ambitious person you are, and encourage that. Like, uh, they did kind of get on my nerves when I first applied. On the day of the interview, I told them that I had a vacation planned 2 months ahead to go to North Carolina to meet up with like like 2 or 3 different friends that were, yeah, because I had one who lived there, one who was going to be visiting up from Florida, and then another, I forget what the third one was. I think my other friend might have been coming down with me. So it was like 3 friends I was going to rendezvous with in North Carolina, and I told them about it, and they said, yeah, no problem. And then while we were licensing, there was like people taking vacations on the weekends, like to just celebrate their license. And yeah, I was only going for like 3 days. It wasn't a long vacation. It was like 3 days, maybe 4. And the day came to go on the vacation. I told them about it, and they were like, "Hey, man, I don't recommend that. Business first. You can't put your business to the side. It's just really bad idea. Like, I guess we'll let you go. I guess we'll let you go, but you really shouldn't do that." I had to, at first they were like, "No, you shouldn't," but like I had to fight for it, and then they're like, "Okay, okay." Like that was just bad, and there was like 3 of the my main managers, and like one of them I felt like kind of had like a little bit of a thing against me. Like I don't know, he was rubbing me the wrong way and like giving me attitude and like not being nurturing and encouraging like the other guys. He was like being like a hard ass and like saying like, you got to do this, you got to do that. When it's like, do I? Like you hired me on because you said this is my own business and my success is based on what I want to do. Like that's why I hired on. Now you're like trying to like be a dictator or something. Whatever. I had no money. I had spent all my money on moving to the city for the job, and I borrowed money uh to do it too, and I was low on funds. My dad screwed me over. He was in a pinch. I lent him like some money, and he did eventually pay me back, but like he said he'd pay me back like the next day and then just ghosted me. and I had to fight with him for like, fought with him for a week about it, and then I was just like, it hit like it's like a psychological trigger in my head. Like I basically rage quit the job. Oh, I also realized they said it takes full commitment to be successful in that industry, and my idea is I said, oh, I can fake commitment for a year or two to just grab the cash I need for my property. Bad fucking idea. You can't fake commitment. My mistake. It's really all my fault. But yeah, I surrendered my apartment. I had to give up my last month's rent and my security deposit. I had no money. I had borrowed money to get that far. So I was down and out. And I had both of these cats with me in that apartment. So I dropped them both off at my mom's house, and I flew to LA to just be homeless. I slept on the streets a little bit. I mostly went back up into the mountains and slept in the mountains and brought like 10, 20 pounds of food with me. I was trying to go to the hot springs. I never found it. It only took about 2 weeks of that. No, I guess 3 weeks of that, because I found out I had an aunt and a friend who both live out there, so I visited them. So after about like 3 or 4 weeks, yeah, I guess it was 3 or 4 weeks, I was like, okay, enough like giving up and feeling sorry for yourself and being down and out. Like, I processed all my emotions. Like, I got back, it was like out in the mountains, like at peace in nature, like processing everything. And I was like, all right, this isn't what we made a vow, like an oath to myself, to get this property. Let's find some work. I was thinking about going into music then and staying in LA on the streets and learning viola. Then I got a call from my buddy in Colorado who said, my dad died. I applied to this place to be a prep cook, and they hired me, and now they put me on dishwashing, and I hate it, and I'm depressed, and now my dad just died, made me even more depressed. I said, hey, ask your boss if I can take over the dishes so you can prep cook. And he said, yeah. So I went to Aspen, bunked with him, took over his dishwashing job, put the money in the bank for the land. Things were looking good. COVID shut the fucking restaurant down. We were the first restaurant in the country to shut down, because I guess somebody flew into Aspen with COVID and ate at our restaurant. So I was like packed up. I was like, I guess I'm going back to Philly. Oh, I had the idea to go truck driving. I'm sick of like sweating in the sun, breaking my back for like not enough money. And being stressed out all the time. So I was like, I want to sit on my ass. I want to go truck driving and sit on my ass and make money all day. But I said, wait a second, hold on. I did the math, I ran the calculations, I used my cost and benefit analysis from finance school to run the numbers for a lawn mowing business. I was like, wait, what if I sit on a riding mower all day and I make money that way? It's still sitting on my ass. I'll get to be in the sun. I'll get to go home and sleep in my own bed every night. And I ran the numbers and I was like, oh, and I'll make a significantly more amount of money. Let's try this. So I went back to Philly. I lived in my grandmom's shed out back. And I was like, I want to go trucking, but I want to try this lawn mowing thing first. I did that for 3 months before I realized starting your own business from scratch is difficult. It takes a year or two to get started. I was like, I want to be done in a year. I want to have my land in a year. And I was like just trying to I was starting up the business, getting clients trickling in here and there. I'm doing all paperwork, marketing, building the website, scheduling with people, negotiating with people, rescheduling with people, renegotiating with people. Nobody wants to pay you for your work. And then I'm like mowing their lawns and they want me to do other landscaping jobs while I'm on their property. So I'm not really mowing at all. Like, I'm not sitting on my ass at all. So I said, It's not gonna work. It's a commitment. It is. I didn't know that it took a commitment. If I had known, I wouldn't have done it. If you're gonna build a business, it's like a marriage. It's like a child. It's a commitment. You need to nurture it. You need to grow it. You need to be there with it. And landscaping is not what I'm willing to do that for. So I hung it up. I sold my equipment and I went trucking for a year and a half until now. I went trucking. I sat on my ass for a year and a half, made a bunch of money, working just like a slave, like not seeing my family, just being out on the road, driving like 60 plus hours a week, banking all my money. And then I like hit my goal and I was like, I have enough money to get my land now. This was as of this year, like 2022. Like I came back in February or March. February, I guess. March? Yeah, I guess March. I came back to PA. I got a local route driving in Pennsylvania so that I could, like, on the weekends I could go scout properties, which I was doing. I found a property in New York. I decided to buy it. Oh, wait, no. In 2021, trucking, I was talking with my friend Andrew about buying a property in the US. We did an analysis of like 4 different states that are supposed to be really good for homesteading and wilderness living. And we found out that Florida is the best. So we and him were going to buy land in Florida. Our other friend, Tara, joined in because she does social work, so she was kind of like helping mediate between the two of us so we could compromise and figure out how to make ourselves both happy with the deal. She gets on board and then gets way down our rabbit hole because it starts out with like, wait a second, you said this? How does that make sense? And we explain it, but wait, and that brings up 3 more questions. And the next thing you know, you're spending 3 months explaining to somebody what your plan is. Because we have a unique business model. A novel business model. And then I'm like, no. I don't want to buy land with other people. It's too much compromise. I want things my way. I'm just going to stay in the truck for a few years until I have enough money to buy the land all myself. I don't want to have to deal with nobody else. And like my friend Andrew was like, one day he was like, I realized my cat is on his last legs, like not the white one. Where is he? Oh, he went back in there to sleep. Timothy. I'm staring at the gnats. I've been talking a lot. I'm not going to cover like the present or the future. I'm just covering up until the present because it's a lot that's happened. Yeah, so I realized I love my cat, and like the whole thing is I was back on the Appalachian Trail with him. That's when I made my vow because I wanted to be free in the wilderness with him, because with being with him free in the wilderness was great. But I wanted my own land so I wouldn't have to move around like a vagabond, so I could set up a garden, build a hut, have friends and family visit if need be. And like I realized he's like really old. He's like 18 or 19 years old. Cats don't usually live that long. And I was like, that's what I care about. Like I gave up my oath to get the land. I said, that's not what's important to me. What's important to me is being with my cat in nature. But what's the best way to do that? Buy some I already have the cash. Well, I didn't have all enough to buy it all myself, but Andrew said, don't worry about that. He said, you can manifest it. You don't have to do it all yourself. You don't have to wait a couple years more of trucking. You can make it happen now. You can use help. You can get help from your society. So I said, okay. So I got this person on board, this person on board, this person and their girlfriend on board, this person on board. There was like 6 of us ready to throw in money and buy this property now. so I could be free in nature with my cat. And I compromised with them. I said, it doesn't have to be all my way. My only value is being with my cat. We were about to all go buy in Florida because that's the place where we all agreed on. A lot of the people lived in Florida, so that was a good investment for them. And my mom was like, you can't, because then at that point she had both of the cats. She said, you can't take, and at the time, I guess my 8-year-old little sister had been living with them for almost 2 years. They were like her cats. She said, you can't take the cats away from your little sister, take them all the way across the country where she's gonna miss them and not be able to visit them. I said, you know what, you're right. I said, come on, Mom, come on. She said, okay, you can. She's like, it's messed up, but I guess you can take Timothy, not Cotton, just Timothy. And I was like, that defeats the purpose. Like, he needs a companion. Am I just gonna take him alone? Like, he's been with Cotton the past few years since his brother died, because he had another cat that he was with his whole life who died. I was like, you gotta keep them together. Like, you can't separate them. That's traumatizing. Why would you do that? She's like, well, you can take Timothy. We're keeping Cotton. I was like, you know what? You're right. Honestly, you're right. I slept on it for a couple nights, and I was like, it doesn't matter what you say. Like, can I take Timothy or not? It doesn't matter. It's the wrong thing to do. I'm not taking the cat away from my little sister. She said, no, you can. I didn't mean it, you can. I was like, no, you're right. It's not a good thing to do. So I said, okay, well, I told all the Florida people, I said, cancel that. I'm out. And I was the biggest fish with the most money, so I said, I'm out. So then everybody else said, well, we can't do it now, and they dispersed. So he said, well, I guess maybe we'll try it later down the road. So I said, I'll buy a property up north near Philadelphia, so I can just have that property, do my own thing with my cat for a couple of years, however long it takes for him to pass, and then I'll be close enough that, my sister if she misses him, she can visit. So I found one in New York, which is really close. It was only a 2-hour drive, so it's a visiting range. I mean, Florida's like 17 hours drive. That's not visiting range. And then I negotiated it for a month, like rewriting the contract, etc. Then they sold it out to a better offer. And I realized how old he is. We're like the same age, actually, but this guy's like, he's probably gonna live till he's 40. Him, not so much. Yeah, so I realized, I was like, he won't even come outside now. He just spends like 22 hours a day in the bed. Like, this guy goes all around like a cat. Like, I wanted to be free in nature with my cat, like do nature things like we were on the Appalachian Trail, but now he just lays in bed. Right, we're not covering the present, we're just covering up until now. Well, that kind of was relevant, because I realized how old he was getting. I was like, the point was just to have property up here until he passes, then sell the property and buy Florida with partners in the South, in Florida. But I was like, if he's not even gonna last another year, what's the point? Why buy a property up here, go through all the expenses of that, renovating it, settling it, getting used to the area, just to sell it in a year when he passes and go south? So that doesn't make sense. I should just find somewhere in the woods I can rent around here for a year. So I asked this person, I asked that person. I asked this person, and I was like, wait a second. My freaking aunt and uncle. We already talked about doing it before a couple of years ago. Why didn't I think about that? I asked them. So they said I could rent space in their backyard, in their backwoods. And now I'm out here in the wilderness with my cat. And I don't know how long he's going to last. Maybe he'll last a year, 2 years, 3 years, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. I don't know. But that's where we're at now. I'll see you next time when a video when I can cover the present and future. We just caught up to now. Uh, Manifest your destiny. Speak it into existence. Make your life what you want. Determination, desire, and faith that it can happen. You'll make it happen.